we are in the process as a human race of letting go of the old and going into the new. And it's kind of like with this equinox, it's just being accelerated a little bit more. But on top of this equinox, we are also in a new moon. So the new moon will happen, today, will happen at 1:22 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. But it's just taking that equinox energy of basically new beginnings. And I guess I've been, kind of trying to weigh this out. If in the Southern Hemisphere, it's the same as in the Northern Hemisphere, if you're into Christian religion, you think of Easter and you think of something new. So I don't know, Gina, I don't know. When you do the autumn equinox, I know in the Northern Hemisphere, you have the Easter energy, or they have, I'm not sure of the other religions, but it's supposed to be brand new energy. I'm not sure how you celebrate that autumn equinox on it. I looked it up. I really did a lot of research on it, except for the fact that I know you're preparing for the winter time. So I don't know if you are celebrating the harvesting of everything that you had in the summer, and you're preparing that for the winter. So maybe you could say something about that.
I'm probably not the best person to ask on that, because I don't really pay attention to it too much. However, from what I am aware of, as you said, it's the winter, so it's a culmination of the energies. It's a gathering in. However, and they have different names for it. But what I am noticing is there seems to be no, even those systems or identification of how that's viewed, for me, seems to be falling apart, because our weather is very different, and it's hard to explain. It's like in farming, when water runs through channels, it's like the channel edges are now kind of ambiguous and things are going everywhere. I don't know if that makes sense, but I can't explain it. Our weather is not even, we haven't had proper summer, or it's all very different.
But see, that's the whole thing. This is why I had a really challenging time putting this talk together, only because I know it's the equinox, I know it's a new moon, I know it's new beginnings, but we as a human race right now are in such transition. I really believe that things are also falling apart, and there's parts of us that we have to say goodbye to. There's parts of our lives that we have to say goodbye to. We're and if there's a confusion with it. I have it written down here. There's a confusion with it that's paper. It's like there's something new on the horizon, but it's still requiring us to say our farewells to something else. It may be an idea or a state of being or a person. Pluto's going into Aquarius, but Vedically it went into Capricorn in February of 2020, which was a transformation of a lot of values that we have gone through. Now, Pluto going into Aquarius has to do with us opening up and transforming how we relate as the human race. It's going to be opening up, maybe it might give us the potential to overcome the race wars that we're in, or even new technology, because Aquarius has to do with humanity. It has to do with our uniqueness. And if we can transform how we interact with everybody's uniqueness, whatever color they are, so the next, let's see, I think it's going to be in Aquarius until 2037. So I'm not sure how many years that is. It's quite a while. So for all these next years, we have a transformation of our values of each people respecting each person's uniqueness in their own way. But it's also going to be a transformation of how we relate to technology and AI. You know, is it going to take over, or are we going to work together at that? So that's happening. There's a lot of new beginnings. And because we're at the very cusp, that means at the very, very beginning of all that, and Neptune going into Pisces, it's how can you even speculate where you're going? You know, that's kind of like where we're at. So I'm going to actually bring us back. I mean, to several things that I want to talk about. Why there is maybe not confusion, but we are in the process of making ourselves more whole by touching those deeper parts of ourselves so that we can be part of this manifesting this manifesting energy that we're in, this manifesting frequency that we're in. And this all goes back, and I'm going to name all the ways that we're going through all this right now. So it started back in 1962. There was a belt that was discovered by scientists called the photon belt. And this is an energy belt that is kind of like a tire, like we have like a circle. And, you know, in that circle is a 2,000-year period where we go into an age of light. And it's not kind of like actual light, but it's an energized light. So it's a 2,000-year period of going into the spiritual energy. And we fully entered the photon belt in 2012, 2011. So we're in that. The harmonic convergence, it was a big happening that happened in 1987. It was kind of like people held hands around the world, you know. It was kind of like it was a great declarations, a beautiful August day in 1987. And it was kind of like a precursor of, yes, we want unity consciousness. Then in 1994, we had the comet Levi-Schumacher. It hit into Jupiter. So what it did was it exploded into Jupiter. And at that point, it was kind of like a transition point where all the mystery schools, if you wanted to enter the mystery schools, you had to go off into the mountains someplace, or you had to go and to a sweat lodge. You had to be accepted by a teacher. But from actually 1994, it started opening up where people could access belief systems in ways that they could not access them before. So that opened up. Then in 2012, we aligned with the Galactic Center, and it was the supposedly the end of the Mayan calendar and the beginning of something else. And something big was going to happen with humanity. Then let's see, we are in a frequency now where we are aligning with the pole star Polaris, and that will happen exactly in 2101. So that's a mere, oh God, 70 years from now. But as we know, as we align with Polaris, there's energy coming down from that pole star, and what's happening with that is it actually it's kind of a battle of, are we going to go with our personality, or are we going to go with our soul consciousness? Now, I'm just naming these things off, but only because, not because you have to know about them, but all of this is happening as we speak. They're all new beginnings, you know? So I guess that's basically. Oh, and then we just came out of the Kali Yuga, according to Yogananda's teacher, and we're in that. So we are on an accelerated path of finding out who we are. And I just wanted to bring all that up because it's we're at a stage, and maybe with this equinox and where everything is right now, it's time for us to decide which parts we are taking into this future to manifest it. We are in perfect harmony in this moment to make decisions of what we want to, looking at the aspects of our, like our Scorpion energy, and where we want to develop and go towards our integrity, where we want to use that divine alchemy, where we want to build character in ways that we have not built that before. And it's okay not to know where you're going in all this. We are on the verge of taking all that we have been through, transforming it so that we can build this new, build a race of human beings that has never, that has been, all of them have been kind of avatars. And I'm not saying that in a sense that we're better than, but we have the capacity of such magic. And we are there right now.